Hello, I'm Chris Williams and welcome to my video blog for Friday the 4th of March 2011. Now, as you all know from the title of this video blog, this is my opinion on the result of the Welsh Assembly referendum on extra lawmaking powers. So do stick with me for my honest, conservative-leaning opinion.
From the Chris Williams portfolio of blogs, this is youtube.com/MrChrisOf2004 in association with the Kansas Stick on You eBid shop.
So yes, we've now got the results in, and as I'm sure you can imagine, being a Conservative, I am disappointed. I was hoping that Rachel Banner and True Wales would defeat the confederation of party leaders, Nick Bourne, Kirsty Williams, Yeoman Jones, and Carwyn Jones, all of whom agreeing that there should be lawmaking powers for the Welsh Assembly on minor issues like the environment, housing, agriculture, the Welsh language, transport, education and health. But of course, I worry that with Wales getting money from Westminster, Wales might start up some policies that might be unaffordable, that might be bad for Wales overall. And of course, we'll need England to then bail us out. There's been a lot of traditional left-wing socialist policies coming out of the Labour Plaid Cymru duopoly in the Assembly. So, for free bus passes for the elderly, free prescriptions. England says that the education maintenance allowance is not fundable, but here in Wales it's going to continue for those who are exceptionally impoverished. And of course, that's practically everyone in Wales. So I feel that if Wales is going to continue to give out these freebies to its citizens, then there might come a time where England might say, "Oh, we're not going to bail out Wales," and that'll lead to Wales creating a mess that we'll struggle to get out of. Now, hopefully, if I've got the technology working correctly, you will see below my face. No, you're not watching this video book for my face. You're watching this for my words. And hopefully you can see below me the map of how the election worked out, or referendum worked out rather. So yes, 63.5%, no, 36.5%, and notice that those areas that voted no in the referendum on having an assembly in the first place, places like Pembrokeshire, Vale of Glamorgan, I think Powys, I think they voted no, didn't they, in 1997? I think Conway also voted no, but I might stand corrected. But those places are the places that had a yes vote of between 50 to 60%. Because Monmouthshire, where I'm off emigrating to with a load of dynamite to stick in the River Usk, that said no to extra to law-making powers. And it's only the traditional Welsh areas that had the strongest support in places like Carmarthenshire, Neath, Port Talbot. Now, if you were to close your eyes right down the list of really Welshy places, it's those bright orangey places on this map where you'd expect them to say yes. Ceredigion, of course, 60 to 70% category. Well, of course, they're very Welsh. You'd expect them to be strong supporters, because for all I know, the university since in Aberystwyth might have been something to do with what was going on there, but somehow I doubt it. But I know that practically 90% of students at Aberystwyth are from Wales anyway. So I think apathy is what the main issue, wasn't it? Obviously, a 35.4% turnout. It meant that in the really Welsh places like Ceredigion and Swansea, it was not as emphatic a victory as it could have been. And in places like Pembrokeshire and Vale of Glamorgan, not enough no voters turned out. So it all worked out that the yes vote won the day. And as I say, that is rather concerning. I was listening to it live on Radio Wales earlier today, and lots of people phoning up saying that the politicians in the Welsh Assembly have been distinctly rubbish so far, and now that they've got lawmaking powers, they're going to be left to their own devices to come up with really terrible policies that might be well-meaning, but they will be bad for Wales overall. Now, perhaps controversially, it's typical, I would say, as a Conservative, but I think that Wales will be backwards in its attitude for as long as it is obsessed with left-wing socialism. The Labour Party here in Wales is typical 1970s old Labour, but I think that really you need conservatism if Wales is to become as affluent as the posh areas of England, because Wales is not really going to embrace conservatism, it's fair to say. Like, I know that back home where I come from, Pembrokeshire, two Conservative MPs, but today's vote implies that they might be out at the Westminster, at the next Westminster election. They might also be out at the next Assembly election. I know that Angela Burns in Carmarthen, West South Pembrokeshire, where I'm from, she's going to be up against Neris Evans from Plaid Cymru and Christine Gwiffer. It was very close between the three parties in the 2007 Assembly election. I think that Angela Burns, from what I've seen of opinion polls, she might actually lose Carmarthen, West and South Pembrokeshire, and today's referendum result implies that although she said vote no, the public did not do as she recommended. So, indeed, as Peter Haynes says, this referendum result is a two-finger salute to London. No, it's a message to the Conservatives and the Liberal Democrats in London, saying that Wales wants its own power to make its own decisions. I feel that is bad for Wales in the long run. No, you got the people angry and saying, we're going to do this to cut ourselves off from Westminster, but they might come to regret it. Because some say that if Plaid Cymru get in, what's to stop them from asking for a referendum on independence? Lord Ellis Thomas, the presiding officer of the Welsh Assembly, he says that he doesn't think there will be any more referendums to do with the Welsh Assembly. And I know that United Kingdom Independence Party said on that indeed, with these lawmaking powers now, the Welsh Assembly, if Plaid Cymru get in, will be able to arrange independence without there being a referendum. And of course, as I've said throughout this blog, I feel that to cut ourselves off from the financial support that England gives us would be stupid. It would be stupid to create a situation where we will be financially dependent on England forever. No, we've been financially dependent on England all these years. People think that with a Welsh Assembly we're cutting ourselves off from England, having freedom to do what we want away from what England says. But at the end of the day, if they are too radical and extreme and too generous to the poorer members of society, then we will need England to bail us out when things go wrong. Although the Welsh Assembly has responsibilities for housing, it doesn't have responsibilities for taxation. I think it's very likely that council tax will have to go up throughout the whole of Britain because of what is going on in Wales. And I think that I can see other similar policy areas that will lead to everybody paying more tax because of carelessness by Wales, and this gives me the thought process about moving to England. Not moving to England as soon as possible. It's going to take a few years for things to go wrong. Obviously, there's no new legislation that's just come on just like that for Wales to get itself into the gutter. But definitely, if I eventually have children, I would prefer them to be educated in England rather than in Wales. Indeed, I did hear earlier that apparently there is a big gulf in the quality of police services, and rather, police services in Wales are getting better in line with the rest of Britain, but education in Wales is apparently going backwards, and that is primarily because the Welsh Assembly has no powers to do with the police, but they do have a say on education. And of course, if you live in Wales like me, you will know the trouble that Jane Hutt had when she was the health minister, with waiting lists getting longer, in spite of the measures taken by the Welsh Assembly government, which were aimed to improve the situation. And things didn't really get any better under Brian Gibbons, from what I can recall. Okay, that's all I wish to say about this referendum result. If you are from Wales but you're living in other parts of the world, hello to you. I know that I have a lot of viewers in the Middle East who watch my Wales-specific videos. If you saw my St. David's Day video, then maybe it wasn't my St. David's Day video, maybe it was a previous video before that, but I did say that I was hoping to do a blog about the Wales versus England football match at the end of March 2011. But guess what? The tickets sold up if I could get one, so I will be blogging about that match, but I won't be able to sit in the flesh myself, so I have to find a pub for that. Okay, thanks for joining me, and until next time, it's bye for now. Bye bye.